Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. We as the Jubilee Kids team have decided to create a mini devotional series designed to help families study the Bible together. So in this short video, we're going to explain why we've decided to create this series, how it's going to work, and we'll also share a couple of practical things that you can do to help prepare for the start of the series, which is already next week.
So last week I was chatting to my kids and explaining to them that we wouldn't be able to go to school for a while and we wouldn't be able to have play dates for a while either. And then my daughter asked me, would we be able to go to church? And when I said no, she said, but what about Jesus? And much as I was excited that she felt that us not going to church was a big deal, I realized that there's perhaps a mindset in kids that Jesus is at church. And this is a fantastic opportunity for us to change that. And we as families over this time can meet with Jesus wherever we are and whatever we're doing. We can meet with Jesus under the covers in our PJs, while we're playing, while we're having a family meal. We can meet with Jesus when we're dealing with a fight we've just had with our siblings. We can meet with Jesus when we're worried about the way life has just suddenly changed overnight.
So this series is just about embracing the strange situation we're in and bringing God into it. This could be a massive moment for your family if you'll decide to put Jesus right in the center of the storm that we're all going through. The series will run over 18 days and will look at some key moments in the life of the greatest person that ever lived, Jesus Christ. We'll also go into detail of the Easter week, the greatest story that's ever been told and never gets old. There will be two forms of the devotional series available, one for younger kids from birth up to and including grade 3, and then one for older kids, grade 4 and up. If you would like to be a part of that, you'll have to subscribe to a broadcast list that we'll tell you more about in a bit, and we'll give you the number that you can use to subscribe to that.
So each day you'll receive a WhatsApp voice note with a scripture reading, or you may choose to read this yourself from your own version. You'll also receive another WhatsApp voice note which will unpack that scripture reading in an age-appropriate way for your kids. We'll then send you a reflect and respond activity, which might be something practical you can do or a game you can play, and a reach out activity, which will be to challenge you to think about others in this time. We're not promising this is going to be 100% polished all the way through. We're families working through this and sending you what we're up to. But we really hope that you can be blessed through it and also feel like you're part of a Jubilee family community at this time.
In fact, we would love your feedback on this. So as you're receiving these devotionals, if you would like to share updates with us or give us feedback, give us lovely praise, it'd be wonderful to motivate each other during this time. So if you want to share with us, please feel free to do so.
So one of the threads that's going to run through the devotional series for the younger kids is the idea of the Jesus tree, which is why this is here. Some of you may have heard of the Jesse tree, which is an idea that families follow through Advent to focus on Jesus' birth. The Jesus tree is something you can follow through Lent to focus on Jesus' death and resurrection. So through our devotional series, we'll be encouraging children to write or draw something at the end of each session, which can then be hung on your Jesus tree and create a memory for them as they look back of what they've learned, and perhaps also a family tradition going forward. There are different ways you can make this tree, and it's something that we would encourage you to get on with now. Our series starts next week, but it's something you could be starting with. So we did this one by going to the park and fetching sticks and putting them in a pot, and it's quite rustic. There's another version you can do, which I'm just going to fetch. You can make one out of paper and stick it on your wall. This is out of plain paper. You could make one out of newspapers or magazines or anything else that you might have at home. You could use a pot plant that you already have, or even use a tree in your own garden.
For our older kids, if you want to create a Jesus tree as well, you are welcome to. But something we'd love to encourage you to do is to create a Jesus journal. Sadly, the name Bible was already taken by someone a lot smarter than me. So we're calling it a Jesus journal. This is an example that Hope made. This is called Hope's Jesus Journal. And in this journal, every day, I want you to follow along the devotional series and go, the day on top, and then underneath that, you'll write, what did I learn about Jesus today? Write a bit of the lesson that you learned about Jesus, and then underneath that, what did I learn about myself today? We know that the Bible teaches us about Jesus, but it also teaches us about ourselves. So at the end of this series, you'll have a journal that you can look back over and see what you've learned about yourself and what you've learned about God throughout that time.
So we'd love you to come on this journey with us. And there's a couple of things you need to do that. We're going to be sending everything out through WhatsApp broadcast, which you have to sign into. So we're going to be putting a number up at the end of this video. You need to save that number onto your phone. It needs to be saved, otherwise you won't receive the messages. Once it's saved, can you please send a number to the video, a message to the number, and can you include your name, the congregation that you attend, and the age of your children in that message. We will then add you to the broadcast group. We will start sending out a few things from this Sunday, but the actual devotional series will start next Thursday. And we really hope you can join us for this journey.